Hey guys, welcome back to this podcast of intentional living. This week's episode is going to be about mindful eating. I am your host, Susie Rollins. I am a holistic health and wellness coach, and I help you increase your confidence through daily intentional living so that you can experience living your best life. So, we're going to explore a topic that I have really dove deep into over the past couple of years in my own healing journey. So, we're going to explore the power of mindfulness and how it can help transform your relationship with food. And so, we're going to uncover some of the benefits of mindful eating. And I am going to take a peek at my notes because I wrote down just some key points. And so, if I'm being honest, this is something that I have been working on and I'm still working on. Relationship with food, the mindful eating part of it. Mindful eating is as much about what you eat as it is about what you don't eat. So it's also not just about what we eat, it's about being present in the moment, fully engaging with our senses, the taste, the smell, the texture, all that kind of stuff. Also listening to our bodies. And so in the past, due to different careers, I ate really fast and I still work on that. I still work to slow down and to really taste the food, feel the texture, smell the food, just really embrace the whole part of it. And if you know me, you know I'm a foodie, so I'm all about it. I'm still working on it. So one really cool benefit of mindful eating is that it helps to heighten your awareness of your eating habits. So when you start to dig into, okay, I'm going to be more mindful about what I eat, how I eat, all those types of things, you're going to become aware, like me, where I'm a really super fast eater. So it's the awareness, right? And so by slowing down and just paying attention to every bite, you start to become more attuned to your body's hunger and its fullness. And that's huge in, I think, the way we all eat, right? So this kind of awareness can help you to not overeat. It allows you to be a little bit more conscious of the food choices that you make. And for me, that's huge. There are certain foods that don't make my body feel good. And then there are certain foods that, my body really likes. And so when we have that increased awareness, we're not going out eating, let's say, Chinese food, and then we say, oh, every time I eat Chinese food, I just feel bloated. Well, there's something there, guys. There's something behind that. So being really mindful about, when I eat this, I feel this way, but when I eat, so the awareness is just huge. Another really cool benefit is that you have enhanced enjoyment of your food. So again, I talked about the senses, right? So you love a certain food, but just really getting into the smell of it, the way it feels in your mouth, the flavors, all the flavors, the textures, the way that it intermingles together. And in fact, we took a class in my school and we had to do some cultural cooking, which was really cool because in a lot of different cultures, they use different spices and there's a different aroma. And we've all heard, right? Oh man, I'm just so hungry just from smelling the food, or man, I'm full just from smelling the food. So the aroma of it is really huge when it comes to that. But the texture too, the texture and just having a heightened enhancement of the food, just appreciating every part of it, I think is another benefit. Weight management, contrary to popular belief, mindful eating is not a diet. It's not. It's just becoming aware. So I think it's more of a sustainable approach to your eating, your healthy eating choices, and focusing on those internal cues that your body's giving you, even external cues. Maybe you eat something and you get, some sort of skin issue or whatever. And so it's not a diet. But by turning our body's natural hunger into like understanding when we're full and how to regulate our food intake, and if we slow down, then we respond to that hunger in that fullness in our that our body's given us. Our body is really smart and it gives us signals. Mindful eating is really about your well-being. And this was one of the things that was talked about over and over again in a lot of my classes, that food and emotions are really deeply intertwined. So mindful eating encourages you to explore your emotional relationship with food without judgment. And I think the part without judgment is huge. So by practicing some self-compassion and mindfulness, you can break some of the unhealthy patterns when it comes to emotional eating and have a more balanced approach to it, which is going to nourish your body better. So, you know, we all know we gather at a holiday celebration or a family gathering or, you know, memorial services or whatever, and there's always food, especially in my family. There was always food, so much food. Can this person come along? Heck yeah, there's more than enough food. And so there's always, like, for me personally, there's always been this like joy in food, that we gather and we enjoy food, right? And so, but you know, some people have certain positive or negative emotions when it comes to certain foods. And I think just becoming aware and very mindful of that and learning how you can overcome it, or just know that that is what it is when it comes to that certain food. Mindful eating it gives you a better mind body connection. So it's all together. We talked about it's emotional, right? It's your senses, it's all the things. And if I'm being honest, I'm kind of nerdy about the gut mind connection. And so one of my podcasts will probably be about that. And mindful eating just helps to foster deeper connection between our mind and our body. So when we eat with awareness and we honor the wisdom that our body gives us, and we trust its ability to tell us when it's hungry and when it's full, and the things that it craves and the things that it doesn't like, that mind body connection just gets deeper. And so it kind of goes farther from the dinner table, and it affects every aspect of your life. And so when you're just more mindful of what you're eating or not eating, or what you're drinking or not drinking, and how it just makes you feel, you can have just a better overall well-rounded health. Because I think when you start practicing mindful eating, you start kind of practicing mindfulness in other parts of your life too. I think that in my classes, you know, when we started talking about mindful eating, it really was just a trigger for me, because I knew that due to one of my careers and being a single mom and things like that, I would eat super fast. And sometimes, you know, I would eat, I don't necessarily eat just to eat, but I do know people who do that. I don't necessarily eat out of boredom, but I know people who don't, like, I know me personally, I don't, or I didn't used to like fulfill myself. Like if I'm like, you know, I need a little snack or whatever before I go to the grocery store, and then I wouldn't impulse buy and just buy a bunch of junk. And so all of those things are really wrapped into mindful eating. It goes from, you know, from the planning the meals to the grocery store to the preparing the meal to eating the meal, all of the things, right? So the benefits far extend past your dinner plate or your breakfast plate, whatever. And by embracing mindfulness habits, we can really just nourish our bodies, our minds, and our souls with each and every bite that we take. And I think that's really cool. So you guys, I would love to thank you for listening to this episode of Intentional Living. And it is my hope that you learned something new today, that you're inspired to live a more intentional life, and that you're going to subscribe to my channel wherever you're listening to this podcast. Leave me a review and share this with your friends and family. I would love to be able to grow this and get it out to more people.